Jonas was watching a movie and eating popcorn when he felt something hard in his mouth. It was a shiny ring. He didn't know where it came from, so he decided to return it to the owner. When he went to the jeweler, things got complicated. "Good morning. What can I do for you?" The jeweler, Mr. Matthew, said to Jonas, the first customer of the day. Jonas smiled and said, "You won't believe why I'm here," with a little laugh. He then told Mr. Matthew about finding the ring in his popcorn, skipping the part where he almost choked, and liked seeing Mr. Matthew's surprised reaction. "Well, I've never heard a story like that before. Can I see the ring, please?" Mr. Matthew finally said. Jonas nodded and carefully unwrapped the ring, which he had kept safe in a cloth. Mr. Matthew was intrigued by Jonas's story and gasped when he saw the ring. He admired its beauty and wondered how it ended up in a popcorn bag. When Jonas mentioned the inscription, Mr. Matthew used a magnifying glass to read it. Suddenly, Mr. Matthew turned away, muttering to himself, and went into the back office, leaving Jonas confused. "Sir, Mr. Matthew, is everything all right?" he asked, receiving no response. He hesitated, unsure of what to do. He didn't want to intrude by entering the back office without approval, but he did want the ring back, even if it may not be his to keep. Jonas and his wife, Sarah, agreed to return the ring to its owner. However, they soon realized their mission wouldn't be easy. It would only cause trouble. Minutes later, Mr. Matthew returned skeptically, saying, "Jonas, I hope to retrieve the ring and leave." But Mr. Matthew had other plans. "Oh, there you are. Could I have that ring back, please? I need to leave. I'm running late for an appointment," Jonas said, hoping to end the encounter. Mr. Matthew shook his head and asked, "Where did you say you found this ring?" Jonas repeated his story, but Mr. Matthew seemed suspicious. "In a popcorn bag? Are you sure about that?" he asked. Jonas snapped, frustrated by the situation. However, Mr. Matthew refused to hand over the ring. "I'm sorry, sir, but I can't let you leave," he said. Jonas protested, but Mr. Matthew revealed that the police were on their way. Jonas was shocked. "The police? Why did you call them?" he asked. "Don't act innocent. I know what you're doing," Mr. Matthew replied, feeling uneasy. Jonas decided to leave, but as he reached for the door, Mr. Matthew warned, "I wouldn't do that if I were you." Jonas protested, but it was too late. Sirens in the distance grew louder, signaling the arrival of the police. As the sirens grew louder, the shop door burst open, revealing two stern-faced officers. Jonas Arthur Reed, one called, holding a slip of paper. Jonas confirmed his identity, feeling a knot form in his stomach. "I'm Officer Baker, and this is Officer Lewis. You need to come with us to address a theft accusation," Officer Baker stated, the click of handcuffs resonating in the room. Mr. Matthew, wearing a regretful expression, avoided Jonas's gaze. Jonas felt like he was in a surreal scenario, but there was no time for explanations. In the back room, Officer Lewis questioned Jonas skeptically. "So you found a valuable ring in a bag of popcorn?" she asked incredulously. Jonas recounted the unusual discovery, but the officers remained unconvinced. Mr. Matthew then presented a photo of the stolen ring, noting its resemblance to the one Jonas found. Jonas protested, but the jeweler's demeanor was unwavering. As the officers took notes, Officer Baker emphasized the seriousness of the situation. Jonas felt the weight of suspicion bearing down on him. The drive to the precinct was tense, and upon arrival, Jonas faced interrogation by Detective Gray. Despite his earnest explanations, skepticism filled the detective's eyes, leaving Jonas feeling isolated and misunderstood. Jonas understood the incredulity surrounding his story, but being perceived as absurd didn't equate to guilt. The challenge was convincing the police of his innocence. Detective Barnes' demeanor was far from sympathetic as she urged Jonas to recount his story repeatedly. They scrutinized every detail, forcing Jonas to relive the surreal moment the ring appeared between his teeth. Despite Jonas's consistent account, the detectives exchanged skeptical glances, dissecting his every move, searching for inconsistencies or lies. "Stories won't clear your name, evidence will," Detective Barnes asserted, emphasizing the need for concrete proof. Jonas struggled to provide anything tangible to corroborate his story, fearing that his truth alone might not suffice. As dawn broke, detectives arrived at Jonas and Sarah's home with a search warrant. Sarah, feeling vulnerable and violated, watched as their sanctuary was scrutinized. Despite the thorough search yielding no incriminating evidence, the detectives remained skeptical, testing Sarah's unwavering belief in Jonas. In her heart, Sarah believed in Jonas's innocence, but proving it was a battle they had just begun. Whispers circulated through the neighborhood as police vehicles lined the street. Friends and neighbors peeked through curtains, their gazes filled with curiosity and doubt. The community's trust in Jonas was now questioned, straining the bonds of their social fabric. After the detectives departed, the silence in the house was overwhelming. The aftermath of the search left emotional turmoil, echoing the chaos that had entered their lives. Papers scattered, drawers left open, and the intrusion of invasive hands lingered on personal items, symbolizing the disruption that extended beyond their disordered home. Sarah and Jonas had a big job ahead of them to fix the problems in their lives that no one could see. The court hearing about bail was stressful, but things started to look up when security footage showed Jonas buying popcorn at the store when the theft happened, giving him a strong alibi. Jonas got bail, but people still suspected him. The security footage at the police station showed that Jonas couldn't have done the theft, which made the detectives doubt their suspicions. With Jonas out on bail, he and Sarah could take a breath and plan how to prove his innocence. Their alibi gave them hope that things would get better. Even though Jonas was free, people still doubted him. He knew he had to be careful because people were still watching him closely, but he took this time to plan how to clear his name completely. Sarah and Jonas went back to the popcorn store and learned about other thefts in the area, including one involving a ring. They found out more at the police station about a ring stolen from a wealthy family, which might be the same ring Jonas found. They gathered all the information they could find, which showed that they were unknowingly involved in a big criminal scheme. As they put the pieces together, Jonas started to feel more confident. They found an online forum where others shared similar stories, showing that they were not alone. The forum revealed a pattern of innocent people being blamed for crimes they didn't commit. Jonas was encouraged by the support from the community and was determined to fight against the injustice they faced. The online forum became a place where people affected by the scheme came together. Each news story helped them understand how the crime ring operated. Jonas then looked into the popcorn company and found strange reviews mentioning surprise prizes in snack bags, suggesting a planned scheme. Jonas and Sarah reached out to reviewers to gather more stories like theirs. Some customers were afraid to share, fearing legal trouble. They realized the scheme was widespread, affecting many people through everyday products. They decided to investigate further to find out who was behind it and how they did it. Jonas started watching the popcorn store, noting suspicious behavior by employees. He also found a link between an employee and burglaries. Jonas used a camera to record the employee's actions, and word spread about his mission, gaining support from others on the forum. As they gathered more evidence, Jonas and Sarah brought in a private investigator to uncover the burglary ring's connections. They discovered a network beyond their neighborhood. With police help, they set up a sting operation that led to the employee's arrest after he was caught stealing jewelry. The employee confessed, leading to the ring's dismantling and relief for the community. Mr. Matthew, realizing his role, apologized and returned the ring to its owner. Jonas accepted a gesture of thanks, showing the value of honesty in life's challenges.